For 4,500 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza stood tall, massive, mysterious, and mostly unexplored. But recently, something extraordinary happened. A tiny robot was sent deep inside one of its narrow, unexplored shafts. It crept forward inch by inch, till suddenly it stopped. A solid stone slab blocked its path. No one had seen what was beyond that slab for over 4 millennia. So, scientists drilled a small hole through the ancient barrier, and then they pushed a camera inside. What it captured on the other side stunned the world. But here's the real mystery. How did the ancient Egyptians even build this colossal pyramid in the first place? How did they cut and transport 50-ton stones without modern machines? And how did they manage to align it so precisely with true north without a compass? In today's video, we're diving into 6 of the biggest construction mysteries behind the Great Pyramid. From impossible cuts in granite to mind-blowing transport methods, you'll discover how this ancient masterpiece continues to baffle even the smartest engineers today. Stay with us, because the deeper we go, the crazier it gets. The robot had reached its limit. Inside one of the pyramid's narrow air shafts, it faced a smooth, polished stone slab sealed perfectly for thousands of years. This was no ordinary block. It was purposefully placed with metal fittings that showed signs of intentional design. What was behind it? A hidden chamber, a secret tomb. The only way to find out was to go through it. Researchers designed a special drill small enough to not damage the ancient stone, but powerful enough to pierce through. Carefully, they bored a hole just wide enough to fit a tiny fiber optic camera. The moment the camera slid through, the world held its breath. On the other side, a small, empty chamber. Dusty, silent, untouched. But here's what shocked experts said. It wasn't the chamber itself, but the fact that it existed at all. No one knew why it was there, what it was for, or why it was sealed off so carefully. Some believed it could have been a decoy to confuse tomb robbers. Others suggested it was symbolic, designed to align with celestial bodies. Whatever the reason, it proved one thing: the builders of the Great Pyramid, playing a game of precision and purpose that we still don't fully understand. The Great Pyramid of Giza isn't just old, it's a mathematical and architectural marvel. There are 138 pyramids scattered across Egypt, but this one stands above them all, rising 480 feet from the desert floor. It was the tallest structure on Earth for nearly 4,000 years. Its base covers a staggering 13 acres large enough to fit 9 football fields. And it's made of over 2.3 million limestone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. Some of the biggest stones weigh up to 50 tons. That's the weight of about 7 elephants per block. And yet, despite its scale, not a single side is off by more than a few inches. The entire pyramid is aligned to true north with jaw-dropping precision, off by just 3/60th of a degree. Here's the kicker. Its total weight? Estimated at 6 million tons, equivalent to 12 Burj Khalifas stacked together. How did a civilization with no cranes, no bulldozers, and no steel tools pull this off? Every block had to be quarried, shaped, transported, and placed with extreme accuracy. The deeper scientists dig, the more they realize this wasn't just construction. It was an engineering masterpiece that modern builders would struggle to replicate even today. If you were to stand at any side of the Great Pyramid, you'd notice something eerie. Each face is perfectly aligned with the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. That's not a coincidence. It's not luck. It's engineering. What makes this so baffling is that the ancient Egyptians didn't have compasses. They didn't have GPS, yet their alignment is so precise that it's more accurate than most modern buildings. So how did they do it? Experts believe they looked up to the stars. By tracking the movement of certain stars like the Big Dipper and Orion's Belt, they could determine true north over time. Using simple tools like a plumb line, a straight stick, and observation points, they managed to mark the pyramid's orientation with near-perfect accuracy. And they didn't just get the directions right, they built the sides to tilt at a precise 51.5-degree angle, a measurement that helps the structure distribute weight and resist earthquakes. This wasn't guesswork. This was knowledge deep, tested, astronomical knowledge. It's passed down through generations, encoded into stone. And the results still leave experts speechless today, before the first stone could be laid. The ground itself had to be perfect. The Great Pyramid sits on a 30-acre platform. If the land was even slightly uneven, the whole structure could have collapsed under its own weight. But the ancient Egyptians didn't have bulldozers or laser levels. So how did they flatten such a massive area with pinpoint accuracy? They used water. Experts believe that workers built low mud walls around the area, then flooded it. The high spots would rise above the water's surface, while the low areas stayed submerged. By cutting away the elevated land until everything matched the water level, they achieved near-perfect flatness. And to double-check their work, they used a simple but clever Tula wooden frame with a plumb line hanging from the center. If the string lined up with the center mark on the frame, the ground was level. No electronics, no machines, just physics and patience. It's one of the earliest examples of large-scale land surveying in human history. And yet another reminder that the builders of the Great Pyramid weren't just laborers. They were mathematicians, physicists, and engineers in their own right. Next came a problem, even harder than leveling the land, moving the stones. Most of the limestone blocks used in the Great Pyramid came from Tura, a quarry about 250 kilometers away. It's roughly 155 miles. And these weren't small rocks. Some weighed as much as 50 tons, the equivalent of 3 fully loaded school buses. So how did they move millions of these stones without trucks, trains, or even wheels? The answer lies in Egypt's natural highway, the Nile River. Experts believe workers loaded the stones onto massive wooden barges and floated them downstream. At the construction site, thousands of laborers coordinated to unload and drag the stones into place. Some estimates say up to 500 workers were needed just to move a single block. They may have even poured water onto the sand in front of the sleds to reduce friction and make the transport smoother. No beasts of burden, no advanced vehicles, just raw human coordination and ingenuity. It turns what sounds like an impossible task into a monumental triumph of planning, teamwork, and determination. Moving stone by stone, they rewrote what we thought ancient civilizations were capable of. Transporting limestone was tough, but carving granite, that was next level. Inside the Great Pyramid, especially in the King's Chamber, the walls weren't made of limestone. They were made of granite. And granite is no joke. It's one of the hardest stones on Earth, second only to diamond. Here's the twist. The granite blocks came from Aswan, located over 800 kilometers away. Each of these stones weighed dozens of tons. So how did ancient builders cut and shape granite so precisely, without metal saws or diamond blades? For years, this baffled scientists. But eventually, a theory emerged. Instead of cutting granite with metal, the Egyptians may have used a toothless copper saw combined with sand. They would place abrasive sand between the saw and the stone, then use constant pressure and repetitive motion to grind through the granite. No teeth, no motor, just gravity, manpower, and patience. Experts estimate it could take months to cut a single block this way. But the results speak for themselves: smooth, perfect cuts on one of the hardest materials known to man. It's proof that, when it came to ingenuity, ancient Egyptians were far ahead of their time. From secret chambers sealed for 4,500 years to the mind-blowing precision of granite blocks carved without modern tools, the Great Pyramid of Giza continues to challenge everything we think we know about ancient civilizations. Each layer of stone is more than just rock, it's a riddle. A message from the past etched in impossible craftsmanship. What we've uncovered so far, that's just the surface. Because what the camera saw beyond that mysterious stone slab, it's something no one was prepared for. We'll reveal everything in part 2 of this series. Trust me, you do not want to miss it. If you found this video fascinating, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're hungry for more mysteries like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when the next chapter drops. Until then, stay curious, stay amazed, and keep questioning the impossible.